Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we have some more Fall 2 spoilers, specifically on a 5 fragrance body care line, which is going to be coined the Preserved line. Some of these are new, some of these are returning, a lot of information to dive into today, so I'm super excited to just get into it. That said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things body care on my channel, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive right on into the video. All right, you guys, I'm going to sit on this side of the screen and put some images up right here regarding the information for the spoilers in this video. It was sourced off lifeinsidethepage.blogspot.com. I absolutely love Tess's Bath & Body Works themed blog. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much of a fan I am of her content. And she does the body care, but she also does home care, accessories, candles, wallflowers, you name it. If you're looking for sales information, spoiler information, or you're looking at years prior, trying to find some archival information, highly recommend her blog. And as always, in the description box down below will be a direct link to the post that I was looking at. Now, beyond just the spoiler information, we also do have some early images as to what the packaging is going to look like. One of them, specifically the new fragrance Wild Blackberry Jam, was pulled off lifeinsidethepage.blogspot.com, again, Tess's blog, and that will be very clearly denoted on the screen and in the description box. And then also, I really enjoy the Instagram account Bath and Bucks. She has a bunch of spoiler information as well when it comes to the packaging for these new products. So you will see some of her photos on the screen as well. And I always, when I screenshot, I always include her account, like header, or what her account name is, both on the screen and in the description box. So all of the credit is going to be to the appropriate creator, and it will be very clear both on screen and then in the description box down below. Now, you guys know I'm always very transparent when it comes to pulling content from other creators, as it's their content and I am just using it to inform you guys a little bit better, but definitely giving them credit and not claiming it as my own. And one of the reasons why I do that is because it takes a lot of time to put these videos together, put blogs together, to put Instagram posts together, and it's really a shame when someone tries to use your content as their own. Typically, I wouldn't go into this as much as I am in this video, and that's specifically because I actually did have my content stolen. So had it stolen, it was put on a TikTok. I'll put up the image right here. It was stolen by Perfume Fanatic Shop on TikTok, and it was specifically the Bath & Body Works X Disney Villains Ideas video I did regarding what on earth that video was about. They were using it as these are true spoilers. This is rumors as to what's coming. However, if you watched my video, that is not the case. I had spoken about it as if I were designing a collection, if I was a creative director for this, what my ideas would be. So not only was my content taken and used inappropriately, it was also complete misinformation and completely misconstrued. So please, 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 if you are using content from someone else, not only credit them, but also make sure you're using the content as it was intended. So want to be very clear about that. If you see that popping up on TikTok, on social media, it was screenshotted off my account. However, that individual decided to cut my face out of it and not use that portion. So really, really disappointing, just creator to creator. But I want to be very clear about that and kind of clear that up if you did see that on TikTok. That said, let's go ahead and dive into the fragrances. I'm sorry to have kind of that negative, stern start to the video when this is actually a really exciting video. So let's go ahead and switch gears. Now, regarding the product type availability of this Fall 2 Preserved collection, it looks like there's going to be 5 fragrances. Majority of them will have the full-size fine fragrance mist, the body cream, the body wash, and the body lotion. So the majority and all of them are going to have that full size. And then when it comes down to those rumored travel size body care options, it looks like it's just going to be in 2 of those fragrances, one being champagne apple and honey, and the other being whipped honey and vanilla. Again, when it comes to that product type variety, it's always better when the collection actually drops. We'll get a little bit more knowledge. However, for the actual fragrances, is, because we're starting to see some spoiler images coming out, it's pretty loosely confirmed that we can expect to see some of these. Let's go ahead and start with our first fragrance, and this is going to be the brand new Wild Blackberry Jam. And lifeinsidethepage.blogspot.com, where Tess actually has an image, so I'm going to put that on the screen right now of what the packaging is going to look like. I really enjoyed this more simplistic fall packaging. It's very cozy, it's very like vintage in a way. It's simple, it's not overly fall. I'm actually a big fan of this, and I really love the purple color that they chose to go with this, as it really matches that kind of blackberry scent note. Now this one is supposed to have notes of countryside blackberry, velvet fig, and amber woods, and I'm actually really excited to see this not paired with those more traditional florals. It's not paired with a jasmine, it's not paired with a sandalwood, it's not paired with something like that we typically see. So I'm excited to see kind of this fig note. It definitely seems like fig is going to be pretty popular this year at Bath & Body Works. And then also that amber woods. I definitely like more of a sweet, kind of cozy woodsy vibe, and sometimes you get it, sometimes not. So something like a sweater weather, I wouldn't categorize that woods note as very, I think it's like orchard air and maybe fall woods. I wouldn't categorize that woods note as kind of cozy, ambery, smooth. It's much more outdoorsy and fresh. However, amber woods is kind of giving something cozier, smoother, and especially as this is a wild blackberry jam, I'm curious if that's going to help give it kind of that jammy, smooth element. So really excited about this one and excited about this packaging as well. The next fragrance we have is going to be Champagne Apple and Honey. No packaging spoiler at this time, but this one has notes of pink lady apple, sparkling champagne, jasmine honey, and autumn woods. I did go ahead and pick this one up last year. I thought this was okay. Honestly, to me, this smells like a very light apple juice style fragrance. And when it comes down to apple for me, I really enjoy like a super sweet kind of gourmand candy caramel apple, or I prefer something that's super like a fresh green apple, something you'd find in a Bath & Body Works beautiful day. Unfortunately, Champagne Apple and Honey doesn't really fall into either of those categories, so I'm just not a big fan of this one. But if you are looking for something apple, maybe the fall one launch, so the pink matcha latte, the sweet cinnamon pumpkin, the caramel vanilla, and the almond croissant, all of those were just a little bit too gourmand, sticky, heavy for you. You want something a little bit lighter, a little bit like fresher. I definitely think that Champagne Apple and Honey could be a good one to check out. The next one we have is rumored to be white pumpkin and chai, and this one was kind of all over the place. Some people really thought this was coming back, others thought it was an online exclusive. It does appear on this list as coming back as in the store as part of this fall 2 kind of preserved range, and this one has notes of cinnamon cider, spice pumpkin, and vanilla glaze. I would really love to see this one back. I think this was such a great pumpkin fragrance that Bath & Body Works did, and Bath & Body Works has had a couple of pumpkins. We've had the pumpkin marshmallow latte, the pumpkin pecan waffles, pumpkin cupcake, glazed pumpkin, the pumpkin swirl cake. Like there have been various pumpkin variations, but there's something in this white pumpkin and chai. It's a little bit different from a sweet cinnamon pumpkin, but definitely has a kind of warm, cozy element to it. But I think it's maybe the vanilla glaze that actually pulls it all together, making it a little bit smoother, creamier. I feel like that's the vibe we're starting to see in more of these fall fragrances. And if something like a sweet cinnamon pumpkin that's the only one that's currently available, it's just a little bit too like stark for you. It's kind of has like a spice note to it. It's very like cut, not necessarily smooth and creamy and that kind of vibe. I feel like that one can be a little bit hard to pair with other things. You're looking for something that has a little bit of a creaminess element to it. I think white pumpkin and chai would be a great one to check out. However, if you like more of that like sharp spice note, which is something that I like, the sweet cinnamon pumpkin has been one of my favorites of the season. Now, this is where we have some spoiler images for the packaging, and the first one is going to be whipped honey and vanilla, packaging pulled from Bath & Body on Instagram, and I actually like the packaging of this. Very similar. I mean, it's the exact same collection as that new Wild Blackberry Jam, so definitely keeping with that same vibe, but I think this looks nice. It's simple, it's elegant, it's classy. I could see someone wanting to have this on their shelf year round. Overall, packaging wise, I think this looks good. Now, white pumpkin and honey. Whipped honey and vanilla has scent notes of honey drizzle, blossoming neroli, and whipped vanilla vanilla bean. I've talked about this one before. It's just not, you know, something for me. I don't know if it's the honey. I don't know if it's the vanilla. Sometimes that vanilla bean note in like a vanilla bean Noel kind of goes like a sour milk vibe on me. And this is definitely something I've had happen with this fragrance. So I know a lot of people love it. I know it's definitely person to person. I would say across the board, if you like more of these vanilla lighter fragrances, maybe you like something like an almond croissant, but it's just too heavy on that almond like essential oil note, I definitely recommend checking this one out. I'm excited to get back into the store, see this one on me if it does end up coming back out, to see if maybe last year's was just kind of an off year. But I overall think this one can be very nice. Again, kind of keeping with that vibe of like a champagne apple and honey. If the fall one collection was just way too kind of dense and gourmand for you, I think we're going to see a lot of options that are a little bit different in this fall to preserved range. Now, the last fragrance we have that we also have a spoiler image on the packaging for is going to be, again, from Bath & Bucks on Instagram, and this one is going to be the fragrance Autumn Drive. Now, Autumn Drive is something that if you're not really into the apples, the pumpkins, the vanillas, you want something fruitier, so like that wild blackberry jam sounds really appealing to you, or you like things like a ghoul friend or a vampire blood, I think Autumn Drive is going to be right up your alley as well. And that is because this is a very raspberry forward fragrance. This one has notes of wild raspberry, warm amber, and vanilla birch. While it does have more of those warmth, cozy elements, more so than a ghoul friend from those amber notes and the vanilla birch, it's definitely still a bright raspberry fragrance at heart, and one that I think if you want to go more into the fall wintry season, but you don't want to carry either those gourmands or those sticky kind of heavy dessert style fragrances, I think it can be something that's unique in your collection. It's different from Ghoul Friend, different from Vampire Blood, but definitely still carries kind of that brighter berry fragrance. But you guys, that really wraps up this video and this rumored collection. I'm not exactly sure when this is supposed to be dropping, but I assume it's going to be soon. As if you're familiar with the Bath & Body Works calendar, fall is usually from July to like mid-October, and then it's really October when we start to see the beginning of holiday, if you guys can even believe it. But that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on everything here. Is there anything missing? Is there anything that you wish, you know, of this collection you would like to see in the travel size, or you're hoping there's a body butter or maybe a full-size perfume? I always love hearing from you guys in the comments down below. But that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.